Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It is June 10th, 2026. We're going to reopen this Polk County Board of Commissioners meeting. And we're going to start out the way we started this morning. But public hearing operating fare levy. Mr. Greg Hanson, you explain to everybody why we're here.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, we're here today to consider whether to put on the ballot in November a fair local option tax, otherwise known as an operating levy, for the Polk County Fairgrounds and Events Center. This is a hearing that is required by law to allow public testimony on whether they're in favor or not in favor of placing this on the ballot. At the conclusion of this hearing, the board will have the opportunity to either tonight consider putting it on the ballot or waiting time certain until they want to make that decision. So the floor will be open to those speaking in opposition, if there are any, and or in favor of the proposed levy and the levy amount, which is 12 cents and 5-year levy. So 12 cents per thousand.
Thank you. So at this time, we're going to open up the public comment again. And as I did this morning, opening up, the first time would be anybody who's in opposition of the fair levy would like to address the board. And that's one more time. Is there anybody who'd like to address the board that's in opposition of the levy? And seeing nobody rush up front, now I'd like to open up for public comment for those in support of the levy. Yes, sir, can you give us your name and address?
Who is this? Can I give you my official?
There we go.
My name is Dr. Tim Ray. I live at 670 Loring Drive, Northwest in West Salem, Oregon. As you know, I currently serve as the chairman of the Polk County Fair Board. We have many of our Fair Board members here with us tonight as well. And I think I speak for all of them. I want to start off first by saying thank you to the Board of Commissioners. You have an impossible job and you don't get thanked enough. You make very difficult decisions. We know this is one of them. We appreciate the fact that you have included us in these difficult discussions around the fairgrounds. Every step of the way, there's not been any secrecy or anything like that. It has been as transparent as it can be, and we understand the hard positions the county is in that has gotten us here. We also appreciate the creative thinking around how to keep the fairgrounds open. We all agree that the fairgrounds is a vital piece of our community outside of even the 4 days of fair. The number of events that happen there on a yearly basis, the fact that it is an emergency evacuation center, relocation center for many of the schools in the county, including West Salem High School, who's having an exercise there next week, to make sure that their administrators know where things would go if something were to ever happen. It is a vital piece of infrastructure for the county. We know you know that. We just, again, appreciate the efforts you've put in while you all have been on the board in supporting the Fairgrounds and Event Center and keeping it afloat as long as we've been able to. We also believe the operating levy is the only way to keep the fairgrounds open. We know that without that infusion of money spread across every citizen in Polk County, that the fairgrounds will have to close. The county is just not in a position to keep it open, and we understand that. Doesn't mean we're happy about it, doesn't mean we like it. We know, again, that's one of the hard decisions that you all have to make. And rather than just making it and not thinking outside the box of how can we problem solve and come up with some other opportunities, you worked with us to find opportunities. And so again, we very much appreciate that. Know that the PAC is organized, the PAC is focused, and again, we appreciate you doing this process very early this time. Last time it felt a little rushed and it came upon kind of suddenly. This time we have a longer runway. We are more focused and more organized. We believe we've got a very succinct message that you will start seeing getting filtered out as soon as this is passed and official and has a number and all of those types of things. We are prepared to hit the ground running. So say all of that again, just to say thank you for the impossible job that you do. Thank you for standing beside us as we go through this campaign. It's going to take everybody spreading the same message and really talking about the importance of a fairgrounds the other 51 weeks of the year and the vital piece. We like to think of it as the beating heart of the county because there's just so many things that happen there, both for the county and for our private sector as well. It is an economic engine for the county as well. So, all the things that happen for the youth, we know about the infusion of dollars for youth. It is just, for our way of lifestyle, it is just a key piece for the community. So again, we thank you. We thank you for partnering with us on this endeavor. We firmly believe that it's going to be successful and that we can provide a model for other counties in the state as a way to very minimally have a very minimal levy to provide such vital functions and provide a return on investment for citizens in the county. So with that, I say thank you again, and we'll let others talk.
Tim. Please. John, name and address, please.
All right, John Swanson, 5505 North Pacific Highway in Rickreall, and Commissioner-elect. And I will be brief, but I'm just up here to state my support for the levy. It's something I believe in. Preserving our fairgrounds is critical. It's just a cornerstone of our county, our rural heritage. And it's something we have to preserve. And there's, I really want to speak to fiscal conservatives like myself, that there will be a lot of questions. There's a lot of nuances. I've heard many ideas along the way of what we can do with the fairgrounds. But, as Tim said, this is minimal. This is about keeping the lights on. This is required. I think sky's the limit on what we can build in the future, but we really do need this levy to keep the lights on and have a future for our fairgrounds. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anyone else like to address the board? Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Kim Cummings. I reside at 553 Stellar's Eagle in West Salem. And I have not attended the fair in Polk County. It just has not necessarily been on my radar, on my screen, because during the summers, I crash. I am an educator. But as an educator, I know the importance of FFA, and I know the importance of 4-H and what it does for our community. And if we were to lose those important organizations simply because we do not have a space for them, it would be to the detriment of our community. It would be to the detriment of our youth. We would see problems increase because they don't have places to belong, to learn, to work hard, to have fun, to be part of the community. As a high school teacher, I know that high school kids need high school things to do. They aren't entertained by adults entertaining things. So we need things directed at them. And so to preserve our county, this levy is important. And I intend to speak to people in West Salem when this comes up and say, this is important. I need you to pay attention, because maybe the kid next door to you isn't in FFA, but I'll tell you the kid down the street from you probably is. And this is important. Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Anyone else like to address the board? Okay. Comments?
Sure. So I'm ready to make a motion, but before I do so,
You need to close the hearing.
Oh, we need to close the hearing.
So at this time, close the public hearing portion. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Where's my guidelines?
I was gonna,
Okay.
I just want to start by thanking some folks. I want to thank the community for rallying around this topic. Of course, we broached this topic several months ago as to whether or not to consider putting a levy on the November ballot. We were going to poll the public back in May, but the public came out and said, hey, let's put it on the November ballot and get going. This is a up or down vote to save the fairgrounds, to ensure that it sustains into the future for our children and for our community. So thank you to everybody who's written a letter, come to a town hall, come to these chambers to let us know how you think. I really appreciate it. And it's comforting knowing that this decision is not just ours. This is really going to be a community decision. I'd also like to thank staff, our budget officer, Greg Hansen, and Caitlin Diacostini. When we're making difficult, what is essentially a fiduciary decision about something so dear to the public, it gives us comfort to know that the information we have is sound, that we are making decisions based on the pennies that come in and out of this county to fund multiple services. This is one of many services we have to provide. And I agree that we need to put this levy forward to the public so that this asset can be enjoyed for future generations. And I trust the public to make that decision. This is not telling the public what to do. This is having a conversation with the public to say, hey, we are asking for 12 cent levy. And I will not insult folks to say that that is a pittance of money. Every penny adds up to something significant when it comes to taxes. This is one tax that is, though modest, is part of a homeowner's full tax bill. So I want to honor that, but also want to ask the public to start talking about the fairgrounds. Whether you've come or not, thank you, Kim, for advocating for something that you don't attend yourself. I know for myself, I've taken my son multiple times every year. We go every day during fair, and I've just learned so much about the fairgrounds and its history since being a commissioner. I want to thank Tina and the Fair Board for all the work and love you put into the fairgrounds and for your partnership. This is not a conflictual process, and I really appreciate the partnership and collaboration. So with that, I would love to move to adopt resolution 2606.
Okay. And I will second that. And just a quick information for the public listening and those in the room. So the average assessed value of home in Polk County is $247,000. So above average is $300,000. If you have a house assessed for $300,000, this levy is going to cost you $36 a year. That's $3 a month. So if your average home is less than a cup of coffee a month, and to get the return on your dollar, it always talks about is ROI. $800,000 for the youth auction. That is college tuition money we're providing for the youth of Polk County. And how do we ever replace that kind of funding? So your return on your dollar for the community and the involvement, and then just the camaraderie. The county fair is the one thing that entire family can visit. And everybody from grandpa to the youngest kid has something that they get to enjoy and smile about. And we take our granddaughter every year just to watch the amazement of seeing and touching an animal. And you just see families out there and grandma and grandpa with them. That's what makes a county fair special. The people that run it, the people that volunteer, and the money and the stuff that it brings from outside area to our communities. It's over $3 million a year, very conservative figure of what the fairgrounds brings to our community and our economy. So I'm all about seconding this. And with that, I'm going to call a vote. And I will tell you the chair or Commissioner Pope this morning expressed his total support on this as well. He had another commitment, couldn't be here tonight. So right now, I'm going to say all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So motion passes. In spirit is unanimous. And with that, I am going to close the meeting. And thank you everyone for coming. Let's make this happen.